This podcast is a proud member of the Fan Hub 100. Football without fans is nothing, so we've partnered with Fan Hub to put fans first. Search Fan Hub app to play your part in the journey.
Welcome back to another Speak Sunderland podcast. It's another different type of episode today, and certainly a very special one, which we will get into in just a few moments' time. First of all, joining me today is John, of course, a regular on the podcast in the recent month or two. How are you getting on, mate? You well?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah, yourself?
I'm good. How are you finding life back in lockdown? I noticed you're certainly getting your exercise in, aren't you?
It's not too bad, actually. Anything is, I don't have my local football. Apart from that, I could take it as it is at the moment. But yeah, it's not too bad. I'm quite lucky, to be fair.
We're getting by. The reason this podcast is a very special one is down to our second guest today. This man made 187 appearances in the Premier League, scoring 54 times. One of those goals did come against us, so we will try to forget about that one. Since retiring from a playing career, he's went on to manage clubs such as Brighton, Real Betis, Porto, and of course Sunderland AFC. Today we are joined by former Sunderland manager Gus Poyet. Gus, it's a pleasure to have a chance to talk to you. How are you and the family doing, mate?
All very good, thanks, and luckily as well. No problems at all, so pleased to be with you.
Very good. How are you finding life in the current pandemic that the world's having? Have you found yourself any new hobbies or interests that you probably wouldn't have discovered otherwise?
I know I can tell you one simple one, which is I probably 15 years ago I started reading different kind of books, especially sports books. But then when I'm working, when I'm coaching, I cannot read. It's impossible. You know, you go back to think about training tomorrow, to think about a problem, to think about the position, to check a video, to analyze something, and I cannot go past one page. So now he gave me the chance to go back to a few things, to remember, and read. I don't know if you say this word. Read. Read again. A few paragraphs of different books that I have, like mark, just to remember, remember certain things. Also, watching different football, because I try to be in touch with the main leagues. Call it England, Premiership, Championship, especially a little bit one because of Sunderland, but it's more difficult to follow, as you can imagine. Then Spain, France, because I was there, and then it depending where they call me. Every now and then somebody call me, would you be interested to go here, to go there? So then I start looking at that football. And this year in particular, after the pandemic, a little bit more than usual, the German football, because it was the first one to come back. So I've been watching different systems in Germany.
Yeah. How about you? Have you found anything new that you probably wouldn't have found in a normal world, I suppose?
Not really. Literally, football is my life. I coach football. I play football. And obviously Sunderland as well. So it is literally, football is my life. And my wife has almost had to get into it, and my two boys play, and literally is football. So with that taken away,
sorry to ask you, John, have you been able to watch the games live, the Sunderland games?
I've watched them all on the stream so far.
I'm not a computer guy, in terms of going into a computer. No, it's not me. I mean, sometimes you have to do it, especially with when you use certain tools like Y Scout or things like that you got the videos in there. But live to go in a computer and to get a membership or pay, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not. It's not like I don't like it. It's not like it's about the money. Obviously, no either. But it's just I don't get used to that. I'm on the kind of TV, and what is in TV, I watch it, and if it's nothing, I don't watch it. It's not me. So I've been watching a little bit of Sunderland, but more the day after, knowing the results or highlights, using these tools that I told you before.
Yeah. Just before we get into your time at Sunderland, obviously, Gus, I thought it would be interesting to get your thoughts on, football as it is today and there's been rule changes and the introduction of VAR into the Premier League, especially. As an ex-professional player and obviously a manager, what are your thoughts on VAR and the way it's being used currently?
I absolutely hate it. So simple. I think that in other sports where it's slower, where the game stops a lot, call it tennis, cricket, any kind of sport that stop start, American football or whatever, I think it's fine because you're gonna stop anyway, and you're gonna you can have a look at the action in particular. After one action, you stop. It's not like you stop maybe straight after, or maybe then in 5 minutes time because the ball doesn't go out and there is no fouls or throw-ins. And I was waiting when they started. I think it's a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, or 2 years. I was always waiting for the action that it would be a possible penalty in one box. Nothing happened. The other team is scoring. And then going to VAR and go back the other end. So you go from celebrating a goal to have a penalty against. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. Now, if somebody tell me it's 100% correct, fair, okay, but we see in it week in, week out that it's not even with 25 replays and opinions, and it's still not fair anyway. So I don't understand why the players, this is what I'm going to say, very important, how the players themselves, they don't get together and they get rid of VAR. But it's only up to the players to do it.
And obviously it wasn't when you were manager at Sunderland, but if VAR was introduced into the Premier League when you were manager, how do you think it would have changed the way you kind of set up the team, or do you think it would have changed anything?
Well, there are things that you need to be very careful, yes, no doubt. But I think, in everybody that play at my age, on my times, we got used to the human mistakes of the referees. I'm going to say something simple, and I always thought that the referee's job is terrible. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you why, because I don't referee when I'm a coach. When I'm a manager, I tend not to referee in training because I'm going to make a mistake, and maybe a player is going to say something that he will regret after towards me. So I prefer to avoid that, giving the whistle to one of my assistants or first team coach. So if I don't do it, I'm showing you that it's a very difficult job that I wouldn't like to do. So when somebody makes a mistake because he's there and he's seconds and his body through you, even if at the time that happens, you can get very upset as a coach if it goes against you. If you are a normal people, common sense people, and you go home and you watch the action, for sure you would understand why maybe he didn't give that or give you against you. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, there is 5 people watching in a room with every single camera from every angle. They make decisions. They call the referee. The referee go and see it, and we still disagreeing with them. Which is even worse, because now, in the mind of any of referees, it getting into play things that happened previously. Last week it was a penalty like this, and everybody disagrees. So maybe I shouldn't give it, but he hit his hand. And if we give it last week, we have to give it this week because you got time to think. And when you're thinking about a decision, I don't like it. I like the decisions, bang, split second.
Straight away. Do you think it's more of an issue with the rule as opposed to VAR? Do you think the rules need updating to accommodate VAR making the right decisions?
If we go with the handball in the box, yes. But what about the offside? What about? I'll tell you something that nobody talks, and I cannot believe nobody talks. Maybe you did, boys. I'm sorry. The referee go and see it, and we still disagreeing with them. He doesn't, put the flag up because it's not sure. And if that action finish in a penalty or in a goal, they will check it. But every now and then, that action, nothing happened, and the linesman goes, play on. And then that ball goes for a corner, and from the corner is a goal. And the referee didn't put it up because this system where if you are not sure, wait. until the end. Don't stop the action. Now, I repeat, the referees, linesmen, they are human beings. So when you're 100% sure, why you don't put it up and you wait for the goal to be scored and celebrated, then to check in VAR, and then they put it up. Normally, the referee, the linesman put the flag up, and then they check and then confirm. But when it's doubtful, there is sometimes they put it up, sometimes they don't, and that brings another action, and that affects the game anyway. So, and I remember when it's not sure, when it's 50-50, let's let the offensive action to take advantage, because we want more goals. We don't want to give too many offsides. And now it's the opposite. Every time somebody scores a goal, we measure the big toe of your foot or the button of your shirt. Where are we going? On top of that, tell me which technology, because there is not yet, and if somebody say the opposite, I totally disagree. I said his opinion, disagree. They stop the action the best they can when the ball is being played. But every now and then you see actions that the ball is still next to his foot, or you already left his foot. So that's a split of second, or whatever you can call it, 0.10, that as well affect the measure of your side. So it's still not perfect. So you know what? If the players want to enjoy football, if they want to enjoy the players, I think they need to get rid of that. And I'm sorry to the referees, because I know there is 5 people getting paid extra for watching a video.
But do you know what as well? Is we look at it from a different angle as well. Is we're seeing a lot of sanitized crowds now. So a goal's given, and then you don't get the roar you're probably used to, and it's sort of almost sanitized a little, because you're thinking, well, they're going to check it. There's going to be something. Is it going to be a goal? Not going to be a goal. You imagine when Barini scored in the cup final, and we would
celebrate, would you?
Yeah, exactly. You were like, oh, is it in? But do you know what I mean? That moment wouldn't have been if VAR was around. Do you know what I mean? They would have checked.
Yeah.
That's the best part of football. They are destroying. They are against the best part of football. The emotions when it's a goal. They taking that away. If I was a Manchester City player after the last 2 years, I wouldn't celebrate a goal because every goal of Man City is nearly an offside because the way they play. So you will score, look, wait, then the referee will go goal. Hey, hello. I mean, it's stupid. It looked absolutely stupid. I saw a goal the other day in Spain that was incredible. That they went to VAR. The players were already in the middle of the park waiting because the referee gave a goal. But it was difficult. They checked it. It took like 3 minutes. And when the referee said goal, the player from the team who scored, it was already in his own half, running diagonal to the corner to celebrate the goal. 3 minutes later. I mean, why is that? And without fans, even terrible. No, it was celebrating with the seats, with the plastic. So, I mean, I'm sorry. We're taking away the best part of the game, the emotions, the little, and on top of that, we're taking away the discussions on Monday morning. It was not even. We were able to talk. Did you see? No, it was no. Yeah, well, we can discuss that now. Oh, VAR. It's all about VAR now.
Yeah, I think one of the other things with offside, especially, and if you were affected by this as a manager, I've seen a few times. There's a player being through on goal and he's been 5 yards offside, but obviously the linesman's told not to flag. So the play goes on and that player ends up getting injured. Or because the linesman hasn't put his flag up. If the linesman puts his flag up when he knows he's 100% offside, that avoids an injury. And I imagine as a manager, that would really frustrate you if you're looking at likes of City, if that happened to Kevin De Bruyne, or if that happened to one of his top players and he gets injured because the linesman didn't want the flag. I imagine that would be very frustrating.
Listen, I went to school. I was lucky to finish school and get into uni. Okay, and I liked it all the time. Numbers. Okay, I was my the problem. The best part of my school time it was in maths. Okay, mathematics and probabilities. If it's the normal system for you, you're gonna have 2 or 3 against and 2 or 3 for, but straight split second decisions. And that will happen. If you get 6 against and not 1 for, then you'll be very unlucky and probably you go down because you've been very, very unlucky. Okay? Now that's life. Now you don't know what you're gonna get. because the rule is not clear, because the referee they don't know, because last year in England, the referees they were not going to the screen. Now they go all the time. We don't know when they're going to finish. You're going to play a player for 20 minutes and he finish playing 35 because we gave 12 minutes of injury time. And then, where are we going? They're already thinking about stopping the clock to see because. So where are we going? Where? When football was beautiful. Now, you tell me the goal line technology is the only thing you can do because that's directly. And I thought it was 100%, and now they made one mistake in I don't know how many games, so it's probably 99.9. That's perfect. That's what you want. You don't want a 50-50.
With goal line technology, it's either a goal or it isn't. There's no discussion, is there? With offside, with handball, with red cards, there's always going to be one person says, yes, that's a red card. There's going to be another two people saying that's not a red card. It all comes down to opinion on that one, doesn't it?
Listen, I'm going to play a ball, okay? And if I'm going to play the ball normally, and you put your foot in front of the ball, for me, stopping to get in the ball, okay? Normally, I'm going to foul you because I was trying to kick the ball and you put your foot. Now, you show the action in a slow motion. And apart from kicking you, maybe it's a little bit of a stump, then it's a red card. Because you put in risk wherever the opposite player, all the rules are in a slow motion. It will never, maybe not even a yellow card in normal motion, in normal speed. So now we're trying to find things. That's the worst it can happen to the game. Trying hard to find red cards, to find penalties, to find a penalty. What about the penalties now? I swear to you, boys, I had to read the rules the other day because it was a penalty in Spain that it was taken. Okay, the penalty was saved by the goalkeeper. Hit the post, and goalkeeper save, rebound, hit the post, another player score. Now when they recheck, the player who scored, it was inside the box before the penalty be taken. So you will think that it would be free kick disallowed. But it was also the knee of a defender inside the box trying to run. So because it's one player from each team, the penalty be retaken. I mean, I swear I went back to read the rules because and the referee was explaining the rules to the players. How do you want to know all that? After a penalty taking save, hit the post, come back, hit, then check, it's inside the box. But when it's inside the box, this one is as well. So 1-on-1 of each team means retaken. Awful. Absolutely. I know that by the rule it was right, the referee, but it's not what you want. That's not what you want.
We will move on from VAR and referee decisions because I think we could sit here for hours and talk about it. But we will move on to Sunderland and
no VAR in League One either.
Luckily, I say luckily. I don't actually know how that would affect us. Do you think that would? Do you think VAR would have benefited us in the past seasons, John?
Nah, probably not.
I think there's a few decisions where, especially this season, which we probably wouldn't have been given if VAR was there, but. Anyway, going back to September of 2013, Sunderland were beaten 3-0 away from home to West Brom. And I think that was the game that Di Canio was sacked. Do you remember that game, John? Sessegnon scoring against us?
Yeah, it was a horrible game where they took the video of the fans in the and he come onto the pitch, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember that. But fast forward a few weeks to the 8th of October, and Gus Poyet was announced as our new manager. And Gus, at the time when you took over, I believe we were bottom of the table or thereabouts at least.
Bottom.
Was it bottom?
Yeah.
And obviously fans were frustrated with the side. But at the time, what persuaded you to actually take the job?
Well, 2 or 3 things. One, it was Premier League. And I knew after I left Brighton that if something was coming from the Premier League, it's because the club is not doing well, because it wouldn't be in the beginning of the season. So I knew it would be one risk. I didn't know how big the risk, but when it came, I knew it would be very, very difficult. But after playing against Sunderland at the Stadium of Lights and knowing the atmosphere in there, I think if there is a place where we can get some passion, for the players and from the players, it will be up in there. So I checked massive squad, really big squad, many new players. Many, I mean, I think there were like 12 or 14 new players.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah.
So I analyzed my opinion on there. I think, okay, let's go. We're gonna go and really try hard. So, like I said, I think it was 2 or 3 things together. Also, meeting with the chairman, the owner at that time, Eli Short, in London a couple of times, and knowing what was the aim of the club, and clear. That's the best thing happened to me. When you go to a place and an owner or the president of the club or the chairman of the club tell you exactly what you need to do. You have to get safe, and if you can, beat Newcastle, obviously. But the main thing was to get safe, stay in the Premier League. So that was the challenge. Simple.
Yeah. And when you first walked through the door, obviously the club was bottom of the table, fans were annoyed. What was the atmosphere like around the playing squad when you first arrived?
When I arrived very, very late to the training ground, when we went into the training ground, I went, wow, what an unbelievable place. I mean, I didn't know it. It's absolutely magnificent. I knew it was a little bit of confusion. I tried to find out as much as I could with the people at the club and with certain players, that you can have a proper football chats. And I knew it was a little bit of a mental issue that, to be honest, we probably sorted out Swansea after the game, after losing 4-0. I think that was something important as well, because probably at Swansea the players realized, well, we got a big problem here, and we cannot blame all the managers that have been before, because at the end of the day we're changing managers and we're still struggling every season. So but you need certain things to happen, to be able to get out of there, and obviously the second game give us the extra little bit, because it was Newcastle and the way we won it.
Yeah. Obviously, when you took over, Ellis Short was at the club, and obviously since he has left the club, and whether that's for the better or for the worse, I'm not too sure. But, what was your relationship like with Ellis at the time you took over, and how did this kind of change over time?
From day one to the last day, spot on. No problems whatsoever. Absolutely no problems. I mean, it was very honest. As you know, he was every now and then at the club. He had people doing the day-by-day work. He was looking for outside, and then he was coming to, in certain moments, I was needing his presence. But my relation with him from the beginning, it was very, very, very clear and very simple. And I'm sure that he can say the same. Even when he called me, he was not in England when I got sacked. It was straightforward, and it was no issues whatsoever, no problems, absolutely nothing. So, like I said, it was perfect relationship.
Yeah. And John, just looking back now, do you think fans were slightly too critical on Ellis Short now that we've actually experienced firsthand what a change of ownership can actually do to a club?
I think it's a mixed bag, isn't it? What you get, because I think Ellis, to begin with at the start, he was fairly decent. Maybe got the wrong people in, probably going forward, sort of more towards the end. Because obviously he did back managers and backed them okay. I'm not just saying it because he's here, but you imagine if he'd have backed Gus maybe a little bit better. Because we actually had what was an identity.
I think you're spot on, John. But you know what? Sometimes I don't. Manager, we will ask for money all the time for backing from the chairman and many things. I think what I was trying to achieve in Sunderland, that unfortunately people realize now, and not when I told them when I was there, it needed a change of direction completely. Sunderland needed to regroup, and I'm not talking about me now. I'm not talking about Gus Poyet manager. No, whatever manager you want, that you choose, with all the responsibilities and the mentality and the way he plays football, having the backing to him and let him change things to the club improve dramatically. Because sometimes people from football like me or my assistant Tarico, we say to people, it's coming, eh? You can see it coming.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, you're going to go down. Maybe not with this manager, maybe not with this manager, maybe not with the next manager, but the next manager is going to go down because you're playing with fire every single time.
Yeah.
And at the end, you're going to get burned. Simple. And it was coming. So once to get away from it, it's normal. At the second one, that you get away with it, you need to say, okay, something's wrong here. Let's sort it out in a different manner, completely different. And that's what I wanted to do and what I told them to do. But, at that time, they were still, okay, Gus goes, the Cavoca comes and gets saved, and then it starts terrible and goes, and then some other guys come, and they go to the national team, and David Moyes come, and then we go down, and Simon Grayson, and then we change Simon, and we get Coleman, and we go down, and so at the end, you didn't learn, So I hate to say it, but why things need to happen for people to agree with you when they had the chance to agree with you,
before it happened.
Yeah, before it happens.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they trusted. I'm not saying they didn't trust you, but they trusted the wrong people. So they were listening to managers. Obviously, you'll see it a different way, Gus, maybe, but they trusted certain managers and probably didn't get the right answers. And then someone like yourself who came in, who did try and change the dynamics of the team, and wanted those pieces to fit in the team, and it probably would have worked if we'd have got those pieces, but we didn't, and they weren't at a position to trust you, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, and I know what I mean, and I'll tell you one thing, be simple for me. From the team we finished the league that we got safe, okay, from the miracle end of the season, 10 seconds after we beat the West Brom, the club needed to be in contact with Liverpool, with Swansea, and with Fiorentina to get Borini, Key, Marcos Alonso.
Yeah.
10 seconds. Not 3 months later.
Yeah.
Not 5 months later. Because it's too late. 10 seconds. Okay? And that was my message. Let's get him. So, as you know, Key was expensive. Borini didn't matter because sooner or later it was coming back. 8, 10, 12, 14. It was coming back because, it needed to be back. And Marcos Alonso, for a Premiership club, it was peanuts.
Am I right in saying it was about 2 million Fiorentina wanted from him?
So what you need to realize is that the idea was, okay, the people that we know that they are in the club, that they want to be part of the club, and they are already been here for a while, understand the manager and the way he wants to play, let's try to get them as soon as possible. Now, John, simple. There is no money. Perfect. We go with academy.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't, because then it came, we can say that, okay, Jordi Gomez was free, but Rodwell, we pay some money for him. Banano, we pay some money for him. So they were coming players and we were paying transfer fee. So the money was there. The problem was that it was a new sport director, that they wanted to do things in a different way.
Yeah.
And I thought I earned it, with the end of the season, the chance to do things in a manner that I was showing already. Because you need to put together that if we go down that year and you get to the final of the Carling Cup, you can say, okay, we were lucky because at the end we were awful and we went down. Now, when you put together getting to the final and getting safe the way we were safe, come on, a little bit of trust, a little bit of common sense, or no? Because that's the way. I didn't ask the first day I go through the door, I want this, that, and that. I said, no, I need to prove myself, and I need to prove themselves that I'm the right person to change things at the club.
Yeah.
That was my aim. And I thought, okay, now yes. Now we're in a position to say, okay, we're going to... And no, still no. And I'm sure the advocate, something similar. And I'm sure that probably, we cannot say about some because some left before the following season.
Yeah.
And then you go down because it was coming. It's unbelievable what I'm saying, but it was coming. So that's what it hurt me the most. No getting sacked. Getting sacked is a consequence. Because remember that best managers in the world, they get sacked. Mourinho got sacked twice by Chelsea. And he's one of the top 3 managers best managers in the world. So sacking is a consequence. The problem is when you get sacked and you say, you know what, everything was done the best way we could, and I deserve to get sacked because I'm not getting the best of the player and we're losing. And you go. Now, when you didn't have that chance and you get sacked, it hurts because you knew that it was a possibility to do things differently.
You know what you could have done with the club.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, Gus, how do you think we'd have done if we'd have got Key, Alonso, and Abrini? How different do you think it would have been?
It would be easier because they knew exactly how we were playing. For example, when I go to the club, we had a little bit of an issue. Listen, look how I am, because I put myself in both sides. Okay, I'm not against the players or against the club or against the agent. No, I put myself in every situation. Okay, in November of my first year, after 1 month, I knew that Jack Colbert was finishing contract. Okay, and we needed to renew it. And club and player, or club and agent and the player, they were both like, say, okay, let's wait, because we don't know where we're gonna be. Okay, now you need to make decisions, and I'm talking about both sides. So you as a club can make the decision and say, okay, let's wait, and then maybe we lose him for nothing, or the player can say, I'm not signing, I'm waiting, and maybe he gets injured, and he doesn't get anything. So that's decisions of the both parts, and I understood both. But at the end of the day, a player that for me was very, very, very important, he left for free. Apart from Borini, Key, and Marcos Alonso. Okay, so that shows you that you were building something. Okay, having an idea of how you're gonna play, and at the end, okay, Manon stay right back. Who played right back the most the year that we got saved? Phil Barnsley left. And the one he gave us a big hand in the last 6 games, Bergini, we signed in the last minute of the transfer window because we didn't have another one. Because they were trying to sign anyone except Bergini. Then Shaw, O'Shea, and West Brown. Marcos Alonso, no, he's not back. In the middle, Lee Cattermole, Jack Colback is not back. Key is not back. He's gone. Borini is gone. Okay, so you're thinking, are you serious? Are you serious? Okay, and then the consequence.
Especially if you look at some of the players. Sorry, if you look at some of the players if you look at the likes of Marcos Alonso, Fabio Borini, and even Key to an extent, they all went on to bigger and better things as well. Obviously, look at Marcos Alonso now. Obviously, Chilwell came in at Chelsea, but for so many years, he was first team left back at Chelsea. I think they signed him for 25-30 million.
No, but listen, it's not difficult. That's what I'm telling you. It was not like I was asking for a player that disappeared after. Okay, so the situation is, yes, it was different way. Yes, I couldn't really have the impact that I had. You need to accept it, okay? Because I signed a new contract after that year, and I said, okay, I cannot leave now. With all respect, the people can say, "Oh, you're a hypocrite. You were why you didn't leave?" I said, after what I done in the Premiership, I'm gonna leave the Premiership. You have to be a nutter. I mean, you have to be an idiot. So the idea was, okay, I'm gonna try to keep earning my respect. And you try, but it was a totally different team. I mean, we played the first game at West Brom, my second year, without a right back. Because how is the name of the right back? It was that we go from West Brom, by the way, for free.
Oh, Billy Jones.
Billy James was injured. And if you check our first game in the Premier League, you go away from home without right back, and West Brown has to play right back. That's embarrassing, gents. That's embarrassing. We played the first game at West Brom, my second year, without right back. We're there, and somehow we got a draw. And you're thinking, wow, that looks like the biggest victory of my whole time. And then Man United come and you get a draw, and then I don't think we deserved to lose against QPR, but then you lose, and then you get to the end of the transfer window, 2 points from 3 games again. you go away from home without right back, and West Brown has to play right, which is not what we needed to be doing, knowing what we done the early season. Look, I got a few months ago, I don't know if you saw it, I got a little video that somebody put in internet that they sent it to me on WhatsApp about one long action of our team away at Old Trafford.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing for relegation away at Man United without winning in 40 plus years at Old Trafford. And we were passing the ball in a manner that, if you ask me at the beginning of the season if I would be able to make that team play the football that we were playing at the end of the season, I would say, well, it's going to be very, very, very difficult. But we were. Because we had the tools, we had the players in certain positions that they understood their roles and they were doing to the best level they could. I mean, Lee Cattermole, when I arrived, it was a player who was a little bit away from the first team. Phil Barnsley.
Was as well, wasn't he?
With the academy. And then they were a big part of what we were doing. So, you know what? It was a shame because I was living in Sunderland. I suppose you know by now. I was part of the city. I knew exactly what it meant to everyone. And I was very, very sad not to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Sorry, go on, John.
I'm pretty sure in that Man United game, didn't we have 26 passes and then we hit the crossbar against Man United? That's the first time ever.
That's the action. And I sent it to Marcos Alonso, by the way. And Marcos Lobby said, wow, we were playing. I said, hey, we were playing. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you made your Sunderland managerial debut in the Premier League against Swansea, as we've briefly touched on before. And, we lost that game 4-0. And I think 2 of the goals were own goals. I think Phil Bardsley scored one of them. But a week after that game, the big game arrived, I suppose. Obviously, the derby against Newcastle. And that was your first of 3 derbies as Sunderland manager. And, any manager that comes into Sunderland instantly knows how big that game is for the players, for the club, for the fans. And, when you first walked into the stadium on that day, how did you feel? And, what was the dressing room like before the game?
Well, we were ready because it was already my 3rd week training. So plenty of the basic things I was asking to do against Newcastle. We done it like 99%. It was only the goal that went behind the back of Adam Johnson, the Bushy, who scored a tap-in. But the rest of the game, I thought we were doing the basics very, very well. But to be honest, the main point before the game, it was at traffic lights in Sunderland, going back home from the training ground in the afternoon. It's still summer, so it's still light, like sunlight, 6 p.m. or something like that. Against Newcastle, we done it light, and we stopped with my assistant, and a car next to us, he pulled, and he put the window down, and I put my window down, and the guy said to me, "You know what you have to do, no?" I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "Yeah, please keep us up and just beat Newcastle."
Yeah.
I say, okay. I put the window up and I look at Tano, my assistant, and say, okay, it's clear, no? The message is very clear. So we knew the importance of the game, and obviously being able to be a Sunderland manager for a little bit more than a year and play Newcastle 3 times and beat them 3 times, 2 away from home. And the way that they 2 away from home, but the 3 games really, because the goal of Borini is unforgettable and unforgivable. Yeah. And then the two, I mean, the 3-0 was spectacular. But sometimes the 1-0 at the last minute, they are even better, no? So yes, I knew exactly. You know when people say to me, "How do you do a Sunderland?" And the first reaction is, okay. And then you go, wait. What did they ask me?
Yeah.
What did chairman ask me the first day? Stay up. Did we? Yes. Then what did the fans ask me? Beat Newcastle. Yeah. Did we? Yes. So then you have to say, it went very well for me. I know I got sacked, but like I said, everybody gets sacked. I mean, the time of, we can compare many, the times of, many managers in many clubs, they go very, very well, and then they leave for different reasons. But I thought it was, we done what we've been asked to do, to a certain point.
Yeah. And obviously, you've touched on there, Borini in the goal against Newcastle, and I will just go back to it a little bit. Obviously, it was 6 minutes from full time, and A ball went in the Altidore. He's laid the ball off to Barini, who's absolutely hammered it into the top corner of the net. And obviously, there's 46,000 Sunderland fans in the stadium there. At last, 5 minutes from full time, you score the win. As a manager, just what is that around you? How does it feel as a manager?
Well, there is a first natural instinct reaction of celebrating like crazy. And then you need to very quick go back to control emotions because it's still the game to be played and
see the rest of the game.
Yes, and try to see the game off. I think the worst for me was at the end of the game because I wanted to start running around the pitch and celebrating.
Yeah.
And you have to keep calm. You have to go and shake hands with the opposite manager, and you need to be respectful. And I remember my action very clear. I saw it as well in TV. I go to Pardew, shake hands, turn, celebrated like 5 seconds, and then something came to my mind. This is interesting for you, that probably you don't know. And I said, you know what? I leave the players, and I left. I went into my room, to the manager room, and Antano and Charlie, my first team coach, and Antonio Pinto. Everybody, when they saw me going, most of them they came into the manager room, and it was a very private, staff celebration for a few minutes until the players they came back to the dressing room like 10 minutes later because they were going around the pitch as well and staying with the fans. So I always say that big wins brings people together, and that helps us a lot, with any doubt.
Yeah. And I've mentioned Altidore just briefly there, and I think it's fair to say he didn't have the best of times at Sunderland, and I think he was at Hull previously as well, and he struggled there as well. But what do you think it came down to? Because at Sunderland over the last few years, we've had plenty of strikers who have scored goals in different leagues for different clubs. Obviously, recently we've got Will Grigg, Danny Graham. But do you think it's a confidence thing for the strikers at the club, and a lot of pressure's on them to score the goals? Do you think that's what it comes down to with the likes of Danny Graham, Josie Altidore?
I think it depends. I think Altidore was very clear with that, very honest. I think we had a good relationship, even if I was a little bit hard with him a few times. For example, in the final, I left him out of the squad, and it was a very, very difficult decision that made me feel really, really sad and really bad. I tried to explain it to him the best I could. I know that some explanations, they don't matter, but for me it was important that he knew the reasons. That I was playing Fabio Borini up front for the first time in his own, and we needed his characteristics, and then I wanted Fletcher to be on the bench for obvious reasons, and so it was difficult. But I think when you are honest, people, even if they couldn't perform or they didn't play a lot, they respect you because I was straightforward with him. I think he needed a different kind of game. And I make another example, not to put everything on Altidore. Giaccherini was able to play in different positions, but unfortunately for him, every time I needed to drop someone, it was him. And he was probably saying, why me all the time? Because I thought that Giaccherini had many things, but it was difficult for me to, in my system, the way that I understand football, to find the best place for him to play. Okay? Was in the middle of the park? Probably no. Was wide? No. I saw him playing in Italy a few years ago, wing back. Well, we didn't play with wing back. So it was a kind of, depending on what we need in certain games, he can come in and help us because of his mobility, his, even if he was small, he was very fit guy, and he was able to run in behind and to get in between the lines and give you something different. So he was a very, very good team player. But I couldn't play him all the time. So, sometimes, in Football Manager, we are a little bit unfair, but there is a reason behind. And the reason is the way you want to play and the place you got in certain positions to play in front of others. So, but I for me, they're going to be always there at the top of my head because they helped me a lot in many, many circumstances.
Yeah. Obviously, one of the best memories that I have, that I'm sure John has, and I'm sure you do as well, Gus, and pretty much anyone who supports Sunderland, is, of course, the cup run we had under yourself. And, I remember the penalty shootout against Manchester United. I remember watching at home. Man United saved that penalty Minone saved that penalty, and I think I went mental in my living room for about 30 or 40 minutes before finally calming down. And we will get on to the final in just a second or two. But just how proud and impressed were you with the side with that cup run? Because obviously it wasn't exactly an easy running either, was it?
No, it's 2 or 3 things that probably I didn't know at the time, but after people commented to you, people think that I gave certain more importance to that cup, the League Cup, that the FA Cup, and it's not true. I give exactly the same. My first cup game, it was against Southampton at home after Hull, and we were still trying to get certain things, basic things, and I didn't play the best team, and we won, and we went through because my head was in Man City. We needed to win 3 days later. So then you get through, and then it's coming Chelsea, and you're thinking, okay, I saw the teams that they were left, the Man Uniteds and the Man Cities, and I'm thinking, this is going to be very, very difficult. So I said, okay, I'm going to keep certain players safe. In this particular case, Key and Borini. But then because we were 1-0 down, I'm thinking, maybe we got a chance in here. So then I put him on, and then Borini scored in the last minute, and then Key scored the winner in the extra time. Yeah. And then different, obviously, it's a semi-final. What I mean with this is it was not even in my head thinking too much ahead. I was just trying to make the team improve constantly, using the cup games as well to keep improving and to keep giving chances to certain players to understand the way we play and why we do things. Semi-final at Old Trafford, if you want a game with every single emotion, that's the one.
That was it. Yeah.
I try to stay away from people in the penalties. And after we missed the first 2, I changed my position. I went to hug the fitness coach, Antonio Pintus. Yeah. And I said to Antonio, we are, sorry, I cannot say the word, it starts with F. We are, yeah. I said, because, when you miss the first 2 and Man United scored, I thought, this is going to be, impossible. I mean, I don't know how many penalty shootouts you saw lately, but 10 penalties, 2-1. That's bad, eh?
Yeah.
That's really bad. But
especially
it was in our
Premier League sides as well.
The worst moment, I tell you, okay, when the players they miss, it was difficult. But I think the moment that it affected me the most, it was when Adam Johnson missed. Because after everything we went through, after scoring in the last minute, we were through. Then Chicharito scored. Then we got to penalty. Then we win his first 2. And then we come back. And then we got the 5th to win. And then we don't. And you're thinking, we are not going to win. I mean, it's impossible, no? Well, we prove many, many people wrong twice. Everything is possible in football, even in those penalty shootouts. I tell you again, I went to shake hands with David Moyes. I was trying to be respectful. I wanted to run into that corner like crazy. 9,000 Sunderland fans in that corner. They were unbelievable. And then we stayed there. I don't know if in television they show it, but we stayed there for 10 minutes probably.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that.
It was incredible. I mean, it was, one of the best nights that you can have in football, celebrating away from home at Old Trafford with your own fans and qualifying for the final.
Yeah.
Great times.
Yeah. And obviously we faced Man City in the final. And for me, I don't know if there's a bias kicking in, but I think for probably, I'd say 85% of the game, I thought we looked the better side. And obviously Borini got a very early goal, and celebrations at Wembley for that goal is something that will stick with me forever. And I think I've still got cuts and bruises on my knees off hitting the chairs in front of me. And, I think for the first half, I think it's fair to say we looked comfortable. Second half started, and I think we switched off for what was about, I think it was 70 or 80 seconds. And in that space, we'd conceded twice. But up until that, we played well. And to be fair, even after that, we played well. But with a game of that magnitude and, how well we played up until that point, how frustrated were you with them 2 minutes?
Well, I think if there were big mistakes, the goals, I would say to you probably a lot. But the problem is that the goals, they are unbelievable. I mean, the goal from Yaya Touré, I was behind him. I saw the ball flying all the way.
Do you think it was a crossover shot?
I think it was a shot. But what I say with this is players of that characteristics, they do things in special moments. You put Yaya Touré nowadays there with 10 balls to hit the same way and to go in the place where he went, probably won't score anyone. It will go into goal. and he will probably score, between the three posts. But in that top corner, no. And the Nasri one, he hit a volley on the run with the outside of the foot.
Yeah.
That the ball made a, I'm not exaggerating, like Roberto Carlos free kick, but the ball goes outside the post to come inside. I mean, that happened only with the special players. I'm gonna tell you, I think probably you listen to this because I say it once already. I met a big Sunderland fan in the underground in London, and the guy said to me, "Oh, thank you very much. You made me feel like never in my life because I'm a Sunderland fan." I think, "Oh yeah, we got safe, yeah, the miracle." He said, "No, at Wembley." And I said to the guy, "We lost." A Uruguayan losing a final. The only thing I remember is that we lost that day.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, but the way I feel at halftime, I don't think I will ever feel again."
Yeah.
And that make you put things in consideration and say, "Wow." I didn't know what to say to him. I said, "Wow, it's incredible that he remembers how he was feeling at halftime. He was probably on top of the world. He was thinking, what is going on in this club? How things can change so quickly." So and that's why it's all about football. That's why we love football, because we know football players and managers how you can make people feel. There is a sentence that I repeat a lot. It doesn't matter what you said or what you done. It's how you make them feel that they will remember. And that's exactly what happened with this supporter. And you said it before, no? You still feeling the knees of hitting the seat in front of you. So it was difficult at halftime for me as a coach, probably for the players as well. You have 45 minutes from history, but at the same time you need to play the 45 minutes. So we were trying to maintain the level of concentration, but at the same time, controlling the emotions and keep playing the same way and making it difficult for them. I'm trying to go on the break and, trying to take the chances. Remember, we had nearly a good chance, a similar one to the goal with Borini that they cleared just before the shot. But I think that the good thing from the manager's point of view is that we agree with the players that was the best way to play that game. And I think we done our best. We couldn't do more than that. It was the maximum that team was able to perform on the day.
Yeah. And John, just for you, obviously that Borini goal at Wembley, I think it was 10 minutes into the game. That's got to be up there with one of the best moments, as a Sunderland fan. I think Jermaine Defoe's goal against Chelsea when we stayed up last season will be up there as well. But just for you, how highly does that day in general, but obviously that goal in specific, how does that rate for you?
Yeah, it's definitely in the top five. It's like Gus said, it's how it makes you feel. Even I could even look back now on YouTube at the videos of the fans, and even then, I would be close to tears. I would even more than that. I would be close to tears watching it because I know how we all felt. I was with my family and we all celebrated together, and it was. I can't tell you how hard we celebrated. It was pure. That is just football, and obviously, like you say, like Gus said, it doesn't matter that. All right, we would have liked to have won, but we didn't win. But that feeling that the team and that Gus gave us is unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, everyone at the club obviously wanted to win that game equally as each other, but it was, I think, Man City are and were at the time one of the best clubs in Europe, probably even the world. But Gus, what was the dressing room like after the game? Obviously, we played well, but we'd lost in the final. What was the dressing room like? What was the feeling amongst the players like?
It was quiet because we knew that we had a great opportunity, and it was that mix of trying to tell them how proud we were of them, how we play our maximum, and it was nothing else to do. But the decision doesn't finish there, because that's the difference between the League Cup and the FA Cup. FA Cup is the last game of the season, so that's it. You finish there and you go home. But here we need to go back and keep playing the Premier League and try to get safe. So it was a kind of trying to manage the situation the best you could for the team not to go down completely, in terms of confidence. And as you remember, the team had a very, very bad run after that final because it was naturally affected by that final. It's not simple. A team that is recovering slowly and doing a little bit better in the league and he plays a final and he's coming from beating Chelsea and Man United, and to the point that you get there and then boom, you get that knock in the head, and it brings you down, but really, really down. And unfortunately, at that time, affected the team really badly, and we couldn't really recover just to the end, just on time, just on time.
Yeah. Well, moving away from the football as such, but obviously a lot of players, ex-players, Danny Graham, I've mentioned quite a few times, they've been on a lot of podcasts, had a lot of interviews about the club, and they always seem to have some interesting stories. From your time as from the players, was there any characters that really stood out to you?
I think the group got better and better and closer and closer. Like I said, the big victories brings people together. When a team in the dressing room starts singing, "Oh, Vito Manone," the team. Imagine for Vito, that feeling that your own teammates in the dressing room are singing that song. I cannot tell you because maybe they're coming for me, but I had to stop the players. Really stop the players celebrating at Newcastle the 3-0 because they nearly smashed the whole dressing room.
Yeah.
At St. James, I swear I had to stop him because it was a nightmare. It was bad. It was like hooligan kind of celebration. But yeah, you just beat Newcastle away from home 3-0, so it's difficult to stop them as well. So there is plenty of moments, and that was getting the team together more and more, and everybody started knowing the roles and what they needed to do, and that was important for the end of the season, of course.
Yeah. We will move on to some of the transfers. Obviously, during your time at the club, we've touched on the likes of Alonso, Barini, Key, but outside of them three, was there any signings you were hopeful of making during your time at the club that when you look back on now, you think, wow, that was a missed opportunity?
No, well, everybody knows that we were slowly trying to see if it was any chance to sign Van Dijk. I think it was in the press, and I knew him because I went to see him in Groningen when I was at Brighton, and then obviously it was a Celtic at that time. I cannot tell you if we made an offer or not because I don't know, so it would be a lie. But we were talking about him. Yeah, we were. I think it was around 10 million at that time. He went to Southampton for 10 million. Am I right, or something like that? So I don't know if we were in a position to buy him because obviously the main or the money was there just to sign a main striker. At that time it was obviously Borini. We signed him a little bit too late. But yes, probably Van Dijk, because imagine with him at the back, it would be easier to defend. Yes, much easier.
Yeah. I see a lot of people talking about Van Dijk, and a lot of people think he is the best defender in the world. Do you share that same kind of opinion on him? Do you think he is up there with the best that have played as a defender?
Well, yes, because of what he's done in the last 2 years. Obviously, there is players that have been longer. Sergio Ramos affecting the game in an incredible manner. But I would say that nowadays, if both they play together, you got really, really a problem as an opposition team, not only in your own box, also the other box, because both they like to go in the other box and score as well. But he got everything. It's just a matter of not getting overconfident, for Van Dijk. When he is, the first 2 seasons at Liverpool, it was outstanding. Winning the Champions League and the league. I mean, you need to be some kind of a special player, to be able to do
it. Yeah. Another signing that we did make when you were in charge was Jack Rodwell from Manchester City, I believe. I think it was about 10 or 11 million pounds we paid for him. And I think it's fair to say over time, it didn't go down too well with the fans as a player. I think in our Premier League time, I don't think he was appreciated by the fans in the Premier League. I think, he did put some good performances in, but as I'm sure you've seen the Netflix documentary where he's pretty much refused to play for the club, but was happy to pick up his wage at the end of the week. And, he seemed happy to earn money while not playing. When Rodwell first joined the club, did you see any issues at all with his attitude towards playing? And, what was he like to manage?
Well, I'm going to say 2 things. One, first, Jack is a good boy. He's a good, nice lad. I met him in his house. I went to see him. because Lee Congerton asked me to talk to him directly, which I thought was a good decision. The second part I want to say about this is if Key was 10 million, why we didn't buy Key?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But me at that time, I tell you the truth, I didn't know that we were paying 10 million. I didn't.
Mm.
I was told probably half of that price with some add-ons. So the difference was obviously massive, double price. But if I knew it was 10 million, I would sign Key. I knew, and not because Jack wasn't or didn't have the potential. No, I'm not talking about him as a good or bad player, not at all. I'm talking about because we knew Key. That's what people doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we can go and sign a striker, okay? And we have doubts about both striker. Yeah, he's good, but he didn't score too many goals. And this one, yeah, he's good, but we didn't score any goals. But then you say, yeah, but I know this one of the two. I know how he trains. I know how he behaves. I know how much he cares. Or the opposite. I know he's crazy. I know he's late. I know he's a bad apple. So then obviously you make the decision because you know that player. No?
Yeah.
And in this case, we knew Key. I knew Key. I know what he was able to give me. I had great meetings with Key. Key, when I went to the club, he wanted to play only front of the back four. And when I started asking him for some defensive duties, he didn't like it too much. And then I said, can you play a little bit for? No, he didn't want to. He didn't want. And then one day he played a little bit ahead of Lee Catamon, and he loved it. And then he didn't want to play in front of the back four. It was the opposite. No, I'm playing here. I'm not playing that back. So what it means is because you start having a relationship with him and understanding of why it's better for the team and for himself, that it goes together. So then that is the guy that if you got the money, you have to buy.
Yeah.
If you got the money, I repeat, at that time I thought we didn't. Now you're telling me now that we pay 10 or 11. When I found out that probably we pay 10, I was sitting in Golds on Sunday with Chris Camara, and they put in the screen my signings and the money we spent. And when I saw 10, I thought, did we pay 10?
Yeah.
Listen, it's the truth. Now, that I didn't see it, that somebody sent me an email that I didn't read, they can say whatever they like. I'm telling you, I didn't. Okay? And that's what I wanted to change. That things I wanted to change at the club. I wanted to do things different. That's what I wanted to be in a different position. That's what I thought that I earned that possibility of doing these kind of things differently. I was not able. I was not able to do it.
Yeah. Vicki Alvarez was another signing we made, and at the time I think he was quite an exciting player. I think he joined from Inter on loan initially, which I think led to I think it was an obligation to buy, and I'm not entirely sure on the final price tag of the permanent sign. I think it was 7 or 8 million, but obviously everyone knows what happened with that signing, and I may be wrong on this, but I think some things are still ongoing about that. Obviously, 6-7 years on.
I tell you, the situation with Ricky was simple. We signed him, I think, practically in the last day, no? If I don't remember wrong, I think we played QPR, we lost. I flew back with the team to Sunderland, and I went direct to the training ground because he was there Saturday night or Sunday night, Saturday night probably. He was there with his family doing all the contract and the medical and things, and they done it. I finished very, very late. It was a couple of little discussions at the end. We seemed closest that they were in the contract, and he signed, and he started training, and we were in love with him. I mean, he has some ability, the boy.
Yeah.
That we were in love, and then when he was getting fit and starting affecting the game, in one of these we used to call him chops, like check back.
Yeah.
He hurt a little bit his other knee, not the bad knee, the other one, the good one. And then I left. So all the consequences of his relation with the club, they were after I left. So it's not too much to comment. But yes, it was an exciting player, and it was very important. That I think a player like Vicki Alvarez, fit, 100% fit, he was playing in a top team in Europe with any doubt, because he had an incredible, absolutely incredible ability.
Yeah. And the last signing I want to talk about is one that will probably go down as one of the best signings the club's ever made. And, I think I do a bit of writing for different fan groups and different websites, and I think I've put this in one of the top 10 swap deals in the Premier League of all time. And I think that may be a bit biased, and I think you may know who I'm going to be talking about. Obviously, Jermaine Defoe joined the club, and I think your time with Defoe was brief, but he joined the club in a swap deal from Toronto. I think Altidore went to Toronto. And, given his record in the league and his natural goal scoring ability, that even today, at 38 years old, he's able to showcase. Did it take much to persuade Defoe to join the club?
Well, it was a little bit easier because I knew Jermaine from my time in Tottenham. So I knew him personally. So I explained to him what we needed and why I needed him to come. Obviously, this is another thing that people doesn't know. I knew that Jermaine it would be better for him to play with another striker next to him. Mm-hmm. So that we needed to probably slowly change the system. So I was, without the players know, I was started doing certain sessions to see if we were able to change to a 5-3-2 or calling 3-5-2. So playing with two strikers in the middle. But before I was able to be convinced, because to do those changes, you need to be convinced. I don't think it's just a matter of saying, okay, boys, tomorrow we play 5-2. Bye-bye. See you later. All the best. I got sacked. So, like you say, I didn't enjoy Jermaine, but it was a very, very good deal. I mean, that was one of the top deals. And I think that obviously knowing each other that well helped to make the deal. If he didn't know me or I didn't know him personally, it would be different because it was probably a decision that you need to make in your own. But this one was very easy for both of us. So I was delighted, to be honest. I thought that would be the key for us to stay up that year as well. That then probably it did happen. So it was a shame that I couldn't enjoy working with Jermaine for longer.
Yeah. And when he first joined the club, obviously, he's one of the best strikers to have played in the Premier League. He's one of the best strikers to have played for his country. How much of a boost did that have on the rest of the squad, just him walking through the door?
So it was funny the first day he played a 5-a-side. Okay, a 5-a-side is a very short game, like probably 2 boxes, we can say, the distance, the length of the pitch with 2 goals. Imagine in that short space, Jermaine with the ball in his feet, shooting. I mean, all the best for the goalkeeper. So I remember that, he played with one of the team, and every time he got the ball, he went, bang, bang, goal, bang, get the ball again, bang, bang. And people were looking, thinking, it's not fair. It's not fair. Every time he touches the ball, he's going to score because it's not too much space. Just mark him. Deal with it, So, but it was spectacular. It was a joy to watch. And in finishing, when we were doing finish action, it was a joy. I mean, the how easy it is for him to hit the ball where he wants, away from the goalkeeper, is spectacular. It's a top finisher, with any doubt.
Yeah. And also, you throughout your time as a player and as a manager, you'll have worked with God knows how many strikers, but is he up there with the best finisher you've ever worked with?
Yes, no doubt. Like I said, he got an ability to know where to put the ball. It doesn't need to be always power. It can be placed because it's difficult for the goalkeeper, because even when he plays the ball, he got a shot that is very powerful anyway. Even if it looks like he just plays it, it's quite powerful, so difficult for the goalkeeper to get. But he got all the actions. He got the power down the floor, across, through the legs of the defender, the chip, the place it. I mean, the volley. He got every single action to finish the action. So he's a top striker, without.
Yeah. And moving on, John, I believe you've got some questions for Gus, and I think there's some from supporters as well.
Yeah. Let's have a look what I got. Gus, what did you say to the players after we lost to Southampton on that bad day?
I didn't talk.
No.
If I don't remember wrongly, and without giving too much from the dressing room, I try to, say something. I don't remember exactly the word, but saying, okay, I need to be careful the words I use, something like that, or I need to be careful what I say here. And before I was able to talk, Charlie Rodwell, my first team coach, went ballistic. Then Tano added a few strong words in there. There were some answers from some players, and it became a little bit of a discussion, but I didn't talk. I promise you, I didn't talk.
Mm.
And when I realized, unfortunately, these stupid rules that we got in football, they knocked on the door because I needed to do the press.
Yeah.
Inside 15 minutes. So imagine me walking in that corridor towards the television set, thinking, what I'm going to say now?
Yeah.
You know, and I think I did quite all right at TV, I think, you know, with my character. I think I went through okay the press, the newspapers, and I lost it in the radios.
Yeah.
In the radios, I lost it. I just, I just say things I shouldn't because I couldn't hold it, and that's my mistake, and I accept mistake when I made it. So, but I need the people to understand the situation that we are put in. And I remember the game very well. I think we started very, very well. We scored an own goal, and then we had an absolutely incredible penalty for not given by the referee.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
I remember
Fletcher.
that one. Yeah.
That when you know it's a penalty, when the Southampton players stop playing.
Yeah. They all turn around and look at the referee.
Yeah, they stop and they look at the referee. Now, why he didn't give it? Now, we got a VAR there. Look, we found a VAR during my time. That would be a penalty, 100% with the VAR. And at that time,
We only wanted it.
At that time, red card. Nowadays, it's not
Possibly.
because the goalkeeper get a yellow. At that time, it was red. Then we finished 3-0 halftime, so I tried to make things right at halftime. We started the second half, and the game started very slow. And I saw the possibility of getting something from the game, and I made 2 changes. And as soon as I made the 2 changes, they scored the 4th, and we stopped playing. We stopped completely. Yeah. I mean, we stopped dramatically. I never see that in a team in my life. I never seen anywhere. I coach everywhere in the world. I never see a team stopping for half an hour that badly. So we stopped completely, and it was generally. It was not one. It was general. I got no explanation apart from being embarrassed in a badly way. I was ashamed of myself and the team, with any doubt. And it's gonna stay there forever. That is not gonna change. When you talk about feelings, we talk about Wembley. Well, if you want the opposite, that's the opposite. I tried to stand. I tried to stand in there. I don't know if you remember. I stood there like an idiot, just taking the whole blame because that's why you're responsible for the good and for the bad.
Yeah. I've got to say that.
In fairness, though, Southampton got their comeuppance, didn't they, a year ago? So that puts it to bed.
Who was that against?
Leicester.
9.
Oh yeah, it was.
9,
yeah,
9.
wasn't it? Yeah.
It was 9.
Yeah. It was 9. Yeah, they went one better. Yes. They had VAR as well.
And it
didn't happen.
Someone who want to get something back. I was at home. They lose 9-0 at home. No, nothing to do with them. It was they were just. I remember a moment. Every time they go close to the box, it was a goal as well. Every shot, it was a goal. Every approach, it was a goal. It was like thinking, "Oh my god!" So yeah, it was bad times. But
one of the best own goals I've ever seen as well, mind.
I was incredible.
Only from Virginia on that.
But like I said, too many things happen in the same day, and you put all together, and it's a disaster. So
yeah.
After obviously we lost to Spurs, you came out and did your famous "We Need a Miracle" press conference. Did you? Obviously, it happened, but did you really think that we could go on the run that we did?
No. I was honest. I was myself. That game at Tottenham, we prepared the game very well, and we went in, and after 10 minutes we scored. And I thought, okay, here we go. Now we back to understanding of the game, and when you realize they were bam, 5-1. Yeah. And you look at yourself. When they say look at yourself in the mirror, and you say, I don't recognize my team from 2 months ago, before the final, even in the final. What happened? Where are we? Then we go home after the game, and we play a very, very good game against Everton, and we lost 1-0 own goal West Brom. And even if I didn't say too much that day in the press, I was feeling even worse against Tottenham, because, it's the feeling of, even when we play well, something happened. An own goal and you lose the game. So it was like kind of saying, okay, here we go. And remember that we went to Manchester City, and Man City scored after 3 minutes. So many, many, many teams in the world, after that goal, after 3 minutes at Man City, they will collapse and lose the game and go down.
Yeah.
And we should have won that game.
Well, yeah, but somehow we came back and we played and we broke and we scored the equalizer, and then we scored the second one. Obviously, it was the best moment in the life of Wickham, Connor Wickham as well.
Yeah.
Which I will always remember, because he saved us as well. He was part of that big spell, which is important for everyone and for his career, probably.
Yeah, and even ending Mourinho's 78 unbeaten home record, even then it's crazy to look back on. I think that
I got a good anecdote, as I said the other day. When we scored the second goal, and I don't know if you remember the mess in the touchline with the assistant of Mourinho.
Yeah,
Rui Faria.
Ivanovic, he was next to me. It was right back. He was ready to run forward because Chelsea needed to come back. And Ivanovic looked at me and said, "Gus, you want Liverpool to win the league?" And I said to him, "No, I want to get safe." Oh my God. And then he looked at me thinking, I don't know. You know what is the problem? Maybe before the game, they were thinking that we were down. People was talking, okay, Sunderland is down. So who is going down with Sunderland? And then they started, okay, it could be Fulham, it could be Norwich, it could be this one, it could be that one. Cardiff, it could be, West Brom at that time. So people was giving us, for dead. So even in the head of Ivanovic at that time, it was, you're going down. What are you doing, mate? Why? Why are you taking the point from us? You're gonna help Liverpool. You are an ex-Chelsea player, and I was thinking, no, I want to get safe. How? I'm still thinking that we can get safe, especially after going 2-1 up. No, obviously. That last, I don't know what was the penalty of Borini, 78 or 80.
Yeah, out of doors foul.
I think that was the one Altidore one, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm telling you, that were the longest minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Time was never go past. I was looking at that. Do you remember the banner? Miracles happen, Gus.
Yeah,
I got it
I
here.
remember that.
I got it here in my house. The fans that came to the training ground to offer me to me. So that's a big thing for me for life. Is gonna be with me. I keep looking at it.
I don't know if you've seen it, Gus. There's obviously a video on you. Someone's put together years and years ago of the Great Escape of the Miracle. Have you seen that? Have you seen that video?
Yes, I saw the video. Yes, somebody showed it to me. Yes, it's very nice. It's a nice
I think since that came out, I think I must have watched that 15, 20 times, and every single time I've watched that video, you just get goosebumps.
When I watch it, I'm gonna check later if I got it. Okay. When I watch it, I even try to get the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
Because they go with the video, no? Like there is the song of Miracle or something like that, and it's very, very interesting. No, but what I was saying, was I nervous against Man City? No. Against Chelsea? No, apart from the last few minutes. Against Cardiff, with all respect to Cardiff, I knew that we were able to win the game. Against Man United, I was not nervous at all. I promise you. I was very, very, very nervous against West Brom. I'm telling you, you don't imagine how nervous I was that game. Because in my head, it was, after what we done, we are not going to be able to beat West Brom. I killed myself. I mean, I really killed myself. Even if we still having Swansea afterwards. But it was that strange feeling of saying, drew a Man City, beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, beat Cardiff at home, beat Man United at Trafford, and now we are not going to stay up. It's no chance, like you're saying, it's no chance. So I was fighting against that, not to show the players that I was nervous. It was incredible that was the worst game for me, with any doubt. It's incredible what I'm saying. Probably not for you. Probably you're saying, "Oh, we're safe." And remember, after Man United, if Chelsea was beating Norwich the following day, we were safe, and Chelsea drew. So we needed a point, and I was petrified that game. It was really a bad day for me. I'm sorry. Luckily, we won. Yeah, but it was too long. I look at the watch all the game. I mean, it was long that game for me.
Yeah. We'll get a few more questions, John, and then I've got a little bit of fun for the end.
Yeah, Carl, I'll tie up with last one anyway. Do you feel you got enough recognition from the fans? Obviously, you were only here a very short space of time, but those times, some of the most iconic Sunderland games. Obviously, we beat Newcastle 3 times. There's the Old Trafford semi-final, then there's the Wembley Cup final, and then the games that made up the Great Escape. Just, do you think that? Do you feel like you're? Because I'd certainly have you as one of our legendary bosses for what you did in such a short space of time, even though it didn't obviously go to plan as we all wanted it.
I think it's a very good question. I think obviously when we were safe, I don't remember people singing my name in too many places as a coach, and they were singing quite a lot. But I think with time, John, and now I think people recognize me better. I don't know if you understand what I mean. I think at the time, obviously, through the final and the save, yes. And then when I left, the team was doing badly, and sometimes you deserve the sack, and things that happen for a reason. So then it was people was in between, 50-50. I think after everything that happened to Sunderland, then you go back and you say, okay, last 10 years, what we done? And then people need to go to the 6 months at least, January to May of 2014, I think. Yes, 2014, because those 6 months, they were extraordinary. I mean, you go through the 2 Manchester United semi-final, the final, the 3-0 away at Newcastle, the save, the miracle. So those 6 months are probably the best of Sunderland in the last 10 years, more or less. Because if you go to the previous 10 years, you need to go to the time of Niall Quinn and Kevin Phillips, that they were 2 very, very good years. But I'm thinking from 2010 on forward, I think you have to go to those 6 months. So probably, I would like to think that probably people now recognize that those 6 months, they were incredible for everyone.
Yeah, definitely for me.
I said that would be the last question, but I've just looked on Twitter and I think there was a couple more that people wanted to ask, and there was one question that came up quite a lot from fans, and it was obviously the cup game against Hull, if you remember that one. I think you made quite a few changes to the team, and a few fans on Twitter have said that we might have had a good chance of actually doing well in that cup that year and actually win the whole thing, given how the cup ties laid out in the end. But for you, what was the reason behind the amount of changes in that whole game?
It was the same that the ones I told you with Southampton. I will tell you 2 things about that game. One, I think we done quite well in that pitch. I seriously, maybe people will think this is stupid, but I do believe that we didn't deserve to lose that game. It's one of those typical English Cup games that the lower team somehow in a horrible pitch take advantage of something and wins. But overall in the game, I don't think we played that badly. I made the change thinking always what was the objective of the season. It was to get safe. And then it's difficult for me now because the result, but I always say this, okay, we're going to Hull, no? You're talking about the whole game, yes?
Yeah.
And people were thinking that we were in a position to get to the final of another cup in the same year, being bottom of the table. And I said to them, okay, what do you prefer? To go to the final of the FA Cup again, or another cup, and go down? or just stay up?
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is simple, no?
You want to stay up, don't you?
No doubt. Now, in my mind, it was only one thing. The team was bad after the final, and we were not very good. And I was trying, not to have another incredible run in the cup and go down. With any doubt. That I was close to make a mistake because of how we got safe. Yes. But then we got safe. So, you need to think about the manager. We need to make decisions for the outcome at the end of the season, not just for one game. Would I change the situation if you put me back? No. So that's something that is difficult, but I'm honest with the fans. I don't want to be nice with the fans. Say, yeah, I will play my best team. We will go back there. No, it's a lie. I needed to make a strong decision, knowing what was most important at that time and knowing how the final, qualifying for the final, affected the team in a bad way. And I didn't want that to happen again. You know how many times they asked me during the run into the final, do you think it's good for the team to keep winning in the cup and being bottom of the table in the league? You don't think it's affecting? They ask me every week. And I was saying, no, it's helping us, it's helping us. And then we qualified for the final and we couldn't win a game. And after the final, similar. So it did help in certain things, getting the team together. But at the end, in terms of results and winning league games, it was not that good. So listen, decisions. And you live or die by decisions. And I thought it was a correct one, even if some people disagree, which is fair, and I accept their opinion.
Yeah. We will move in to the last few things, and
okay.
What I'm looking to do with everyone who comes on the show as a guest from now on is a little 7-question quiz about football. If you're up for that, Gus. John, you can join in as well, if you know the answers, of course. I think the questions are quite reasonable.
Okay.
But we will start with number 1, which is, which country has the most FIFA World Cup wins?
More wins?
Yeah.
World Cup. Brazil.
John?
Yeah, I'll go Brazil.
It is Brazil. Do you know how many?
Well, I'm asking
6?
both. 6, yeah.
5.
Oh.
5 wins.
Go on next.
Next question is, who scored the first ever Premier League goal?
Is that Brian Dean?
Well done. You are more than me, because, to be honest, when you come to England, and this is not an excuse, I remember I didn't realize that Premier League started in 92, 93, until like 2 years after playing the Premier League. I thought it was always Premier League. It was always the top division. I didn't know it changed the name. So for me, yes, it's true. It's something that, for foreigners, it's difficult in the beginning. They say, it's different Premier League than Division 1 or whatever it was called before. Or top. So we didn't know that. No chance.
To be fair, I think a lot of people, just as Premier League fans, don't actually realise that, to be fair. I think if you asked how long's the Premier League, I don't think a lot of people would say it's only been 30 years, but who knows? But yes, it was Brian Dean. I think it was Sheffield United.
I will keep that, Brian Dean. Nice.
Brian Dean, that was the answer. Number 3, I think this is another quite easy one. I might have to make these harder for whoever's on next. But who is the leading Premier League goal scorer? Gus, we'll go with you.
What is it? Who is the leader?
Leader of the Premier League top goal scorers.
All time?
All time, yeah.
Alan Shearer?
Is that who you'd go for, John?
Yeah, unfortunately.
It is Alan Shearer. It is
260.
But listen, a lot of goals. To be fair, I think if Harry Kane stays at Tottenham, I think he's capable of breaking that. I don't think he's too far off in a minute, anyway. Is he?
Let's hope so. No, you know what? I know it's a big rival, but I've been in a few things with Alan Shearer, and he was a proper footballer. The ones that you don't want to play against, because he was a little bit strong, a little bit of a nasty as well, but scoring goals for fun. So it was a very good, very, very good top striker.
Number 4, Diego Forlan, obviously the former Manchester United striker.
Yep.
But what year did Diego Forlan join Manchester United?
Oh,
do you know that one?
Yes, it was 2003-4.
John?
I'd say 2004, maybe.
Both got it wrong.
Oh,
Ah.
2-3.
2002 he joined.
No, because I remember playing against him once. I don't remember. I didn't remember playing against 4 times. Because I retired in 2004, so I thought it was the last year. Good one.
I was proud of that question. Put that one in. Put that one in especially.
Nice one. No, because like I said, I remember playing against him at White Hart Lane. So I thought, okay, it has to be my last season. It cannot be more. Younger than me. So enough that he was young, I was very old. But no, one more. I missed by one. Yes.
Number 5 is which Spanish club have the most La Liga titles?
I think right now, it's Real Madrid.
John?
I think it's Real Madrid as well.
You going with Real Madrid?
Yep.
It is Real Madrid.
Very good. We are good, John. We're good.
I'm not sure how many titles it is, but I think they are definitely top. Number 6 is another interesting question. In which World Cup did Diego Maradona score his infamous Hand of God?
I know that one.
Yeah, I know. It's when I was born. 86.
86 Mexico, yes.
It was 86. I'm
going to
have to make these questions a lot harder next week.
That was spectacular. That was, when you see football and you like football and you see a player performing at that level, is the only probably championship in the world that one player affected that much a World Cup, because they were very, very good players, but affecting the game that much, like that one Maradona, no chance.
I think Thierry Henry did something similar as well. I don't know if that was club or country. I remember it was on the touchline near the goal, and he kind of punched it back into play and then ended up scoring.
That was a playoff against Ireland. Yeah, I remember that. But no, I'm saying, Maradona in 86, when you look at the World Cups, it's always good players or players that they do well. But players that win practically the World Cup in their own, without respect to the teammates, no? He was the one who was making the difference in a massive manner, as a top, unique football player. Pelé played with an unbelievable team when he did play. His team was outstanding. Maradona's team was not that good, even technically. They had a good players, but not that good. And he won the World Cup, so it was incredible, yes. Okay, last one.
Last one. I am going to have to make these a lot harder for whoever comes on next, because I think you've got far too many right from these 6 so far. But number 7 is one that might test your memory a little bit. But going back to the Sunderland season in 2013 and 2014,
wow,
who was Sunderland's kit sponsor?
The Bidvest.
Gus, can you remember?
Yeah, it was something with bed, but I don't remember how you pronounce it. I got it myself. I got the things. I'm still having a share with me, but I don't know how you pronounce it. So why is it?
It was Bidvest. John was right.
Bidvest. Yes. No,
I think it was a South American thing, wasn't it?
No, I had it like Big Bet, not Big Best. Yeah. I don't know why in my head I thought that something bad. Very good.
I'm definitely going to have to make them questions harder, because I think you got far too many right there.
It was okay. Come on.
But Gus, I've got one last question for you before we wrap it up. And I think you know where this question might be going. And it's a question that a lot of fans have been asking and a lot of fans wanted it to ask. And it is, would you consider returning to Sunderland as manager in the future?
Yeah, I said it already a few months ago. Yes, of course, because there is things that I think they're still possible to change. I mean, I just to clarify, because I always said it, right now you got a manager, Parkinson is doing very well. It's a different situation, but it's something that when you've been in a club and you be so close to people and then everybody watch the series Sunderland Till I Die, and the first thing they do, they call you and they ask you, you've been there, and you confirm things that you already told them, because that's what Sunderland Till I Die does, confirm to people things that I told them when I left Sunderland. It's like you want to go back, because it's typical South American passion, the fans. So that relationship that we made with the fans, even if it didn't finish in the best way, I'm still thinking that it's possible to do something important in there. And it's easier when you know how much it means to fans the football club. You know how important it is for the city. So yeah, of course. Time will tell. Time will tell. Go on.
Do you think it would be Sunderland if they were in the Championship, in the Premier League? Would you consider either?
No, but it's no. Look, at the moment, I am not looking for the name of the club. I'm looking for the people to work. You know, I think in football more and more nowadays, the most important thing is the relationship with the people you're working. Because then you can look at the eye and say no or yes. Because sometimes when you say no to people, they think, oh, why you say no? Well, no, it's part of the dictionary. There's certain things that yes, there are maybes and there are no's. And if I tell you no, it's not because I'm against you. It's because it's a no, or maybe. But I'm honest. But the thing is that I always want the best for the club.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be stupid that I don't want the best for the club, because if the club doesn't do well, the first one who loses the job is the manager. So do I want to lose my job? No. So the idea here is to find the people to work and to have an idea. So that's the main thing for me right now. Obviously, if tomorrow coming Real Madrid and I don't know the people, you're not gonna say no to Real Madrid. I mean, I don't want people down to think that I'm a hypocrite. Like I'm telling one thing and doing another. Obviously, there are certain teams that you need to go, but in general, I'm looking for more for people to work with people.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That is all we have time for today, John. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, John, as well.
Yeah,
and more importantly, Gus, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. Well, tonight it's turned into now. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us, and it's been quite a joy. I've enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it as well. Thank you. It's good to have something as well to communicate to people, and to people to know me a little bit more, because this is me.
Yeah.
The one that you hear, and it's not different to the one in the dressing room. It's not difficult. The one with the press. It's not like I'm gonna tell something to the press and something to you differently or to the players. It's me being honest and being myself.
Yeah. We will be back once again with another reaction podcast on Sunday evening to talk about Saturday's game against MK Dons. But until then, we will see you later.